Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield to Representative Pafford.
Representative Pafford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 2 days ago, I offered an amendment on the floor that was called the Managed Care Accountability Act, and the amendment went down in flames. Unfortunately, it's left us today with dealing with some legislation that's a massive shift to profit-capitated care in the state of Florida that will reduce the scope, the amount, and duration of care. Oddly enough, Representative Steinberg just offered an amendment that was shot down because apparently we don't have the federal authority to have an amendment like that as part of this language. I would submit to this chamber that we don't have the federal authority to do anything that we're doing today without such a waiver from the federal government. The second point I want to make is Solantic. We have a governor that transferred Solantic to his wife, the First Lady of this state. Apparently, the media has found that there's a conflict of interest.
Representative Pafford, I ask you to keep your remarks to the policy of the bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There are tremendous conflicts of interest in this bill, and I think this chamber needs to recognize those conflicts of interest with the many providers that will benefit from the $20 billion we're going to throw at the for-profit managed care industry in the state of Florida. And my final point ends this way. It's going to be very short. The only reason we've decided to deal with this issue of Medicaid and how Medicaid affects Florida's poorest people who require medical care, the only reason is because we are not creative enough to find revenue, and we've decided to say arbitrarily we're going to spend $20 billion and stop. And that's going to be enough. We'll raise it a few percentage points throughout the years, but $20 billion will be sent to for-profit, private managed care outside of the Sunshine. There's no transparency involved here, by the way. We never approach this subject with quality and with access. In fact, the committees that were set up called Quality and Access had workshops. There was never amendments taken up. So my colleagues, I suggest you think carefully again this week about a bill that will be very damaging, in my view, to all of us who vote yes. This is a giveaway of $20 billion to folks that work outside of the Sunshine because we're going to ask somebody else to deal with our poor Floridians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Waldman, you're recognized.